So, you're likely questioning this belief, and in this video I will show you that it's not a belief, but scientifically factual that yellow is indeed the best color. And I've come up with this presentation to elaborate as to why. I'd like to introduce you all to a survey I created, taking poll from almost 60 people on 2 different questions. Question 1 was whether or not yellow was their favorite color. As you can see here, over 88% of respondees said that yellow was in fact not their favorite color. The next question was whether or not they had a history of mental illness, and the answer to this was almost a 50-50 split. So, with these 2 data points, you will find that the most common answer was that their favorite color was not yellow, and that they did have a history of mental illness. So I think that this proposes there is a direct correlation between mental illness and not liking yellow. I dub this spectacle the John and Melody Mantel phenomenon. This correlation brings me to the concept of yellow and color psychology. It's a belief that colors carry different meanings and sometimes different moods. Red, for example, is the color of romance and adrenaline, but it could also be used to represent anger, war, violence, danger, and so on. So what about the opposite of the color red? Green is associated with happiness, excitement, and vitality commonly, but it's also associated with nausea, sickness, and toxicity. On the other hand, yellow's connotations are much more positive, meaning things like happiness, warmth, and the turning of the autumn leaves, while its negative meanings are much less severe, meaning things like nausea and embarrassment, which I think personally is much more preferable to the other colors. So lastly, I also believe this has a strong tie to the phenomenon: sight. So now I'm going to be talking about mental health in the justice system. So with 2 supporting pieces of evidence, we've now established that good mental health is linked to yellow. But what does this mean? In a criminal case, a defendant must first be declared fit to stand trial. An indicator of eligibility is the soundness of mind. This means that a defendant must first understand why their actions were wrong and why they are being prosecuted. According to the Criminal Code of Canada, Section 16, no person is criminally responsible for an act committed or an omission made while suffering a mental disorder that rendered the person incapable of appreciating the nature and quality of the acts or omission without knowing that it was wrong. Sight. Anyways, these were my first 2 points relating back to the unit. We discussed the concept of insanity in law briefly, and the criminal code part relates back to the lesson we had on the charter. My final point takes me to the morality of using insanity as a defense. It is a Canadian right to be declared fit to stand trial beforehand, meaning emotionally and mentally stable. But what happens to those who use this defense while being of sound mind? What happened to them? Is it moral to even try? So being labeled as psychologically unsound is grounds to avoid trial and a prison sentence, which is sometimes why psychologically sound individuals use this as a defense anyways. However, if an individual is declared psychologically unsound, they are not released, but instead sent to a psychiatric treatment facility. Not all mental illnesses correlate to being unfit to stand trial, however. For example, a person with generalized anxiety disorder could still be declared fit to stand trial because their illness does not affect their comprehension ability for their actions. I'm now going to show you a video of Nicholas Cruz, who, on February 14th, 2017, committed the Parkland, Florida massacre. His first attempt at defense was to imitate psychosis in order to be unfit to stand trial.
When did it start, you think? When your mom passed?
It started getting worse when my mom passed.
Okay. Did it start how many years before your mom passed, do you think?
When my father died.
Okay. Did you ever tell anybody about the voice? Never? And what does the voice say to you? Well, what does it tell you to do?
Burn, kill, destroy.
Okay, burn, kill, destroy.
It was determined that he was completely psychologically sound, which brings me back to the concept of mentally ill individuals still being fit to stand trial. Cruz had been diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, and major depressive disorder, none of which declared him unfit to stand trial because his comprehension ability remained intact. Sight. Now, here's an interesting point that I discovered during my research. Can you guess what Nicholas Cruz's favorite color is? That's right, green. Sight. This attempt at avoiding prison time undermines the concept of responsibility, more so taking responsibility for your own actions and the unethicality behind it. This was my final point, which circles back to the Charter once more and the Criminal Code, and overall proves my point. Bonus point, many great and ethical people have been observed to have yellow as their favorite color. For example, me. In conclusion, liking yellow is directly related to mental clarity, lower incarceration rates, and a higher concept of morality, which are 3 more reasons why I know that yellow is the best color. This has been a comprehensive study by Dina. That's me. Thanks for watching.